If there is one phrase that describes the devastating second wave of coronavirus in India, it is the oxygen crisis. While the government hospitals in Karnataka were doing relatively better, the supply chain of private hospitals was overwhelmed. Following these harrowing images, no government authority wants to be caught off guard when the next wave eventually arrives. In June this year, the State Health Commissioner Dr. K.V. Trilok Chandra had sent a circular to all private hospitals in the state to have their own oxygen generation plants if they are a hospital with more than 100 beds. With the October deadline for the installation of oxygen plants closing in, we decided to visit some hospitals in Bengaluru for a ground reality check. We're standing outside Apollo Multi-Specialty Hospital in Jayanagar in Bengaluru. It is a 94-bedded hospital. According to the government circular, private hospitals between 50 to 99 beds are supposed to have the infrastructure to meet their needs. At Apollo Jayanagar, the 5-year-old oxygen generator is under maintenance. However, they have enough liquid medical oxygen cylinders and jumbo cylinders to meet the hospital's needs. Every day, the hospital uses 3 of these 210 liters Dura cylinders. During COVID, this increased to 6 to 7 cylinders per day.
Other than that, we have D-type cylinders. We have around 150 jumbo cylinders as a backup, which 50 cylinders can take up 24 hours consumption. So hardly around 3 days backup we can manage with jumbo cylinders.
Apollo Jayanagar is a moderately big hospital. It had an oxygen plant as early as 2016. A new one will be installed soon. Government hospitals like Victoria already have an oxygen plant and many are in the process of installing one. But many private hospitals do not seem to be enthusiastic about installing oxygen plants. Even a big hospital like Manipal with over 650 beds does not have an oxygen generator. The problem that private hospitals are facing with this circular, however, is that of cost. Each oxygen generation plant costs over 60 lakh. Not counting the annual maintenance cost and the cost required to have a technician to oversee the functioning of the plant 24/7.
We do have some reservations. We have expressed our thing even to the health minister, saying that more than 100 beds, definitely they can make it and put it across. But since it is going to be only during that point of time the usage will be like that, so for that investing so much of capital amount and not able to utilize it will be, financially not viable, and smaller hospitals don't have so much bandwidth and capital to invest on that. Couple of hospitals are preparing themselves. Couple of hospitals are looking at ordering and negotiating and the site, the place, feasibility analysis, they are also looking at it.
Since the oxygen consumption during non-COVID times has been just 1/5 of what it was during COVID, the Private Hospitals and Nursing Homes Association wants the government to identify one vendor zone-wise to supply oxygen cylinders instead of asking to install oxygen plants. At Suguna Hospitals in Rajajinagar, which has around 50 oxygen beds, an oxygen generator was installed during the beginning of the second wave, even before the government issued the circular. The DOCS 200 machine is small in size and supplies 200 liters of medical grade oxygen every minute.
Just because COVID has stopped doesn't mean oxygen supply. Oxygen is a essential commodity for any hospital. It increases drastically during the pandemic, but even during normal time, oxygen is there. Oxygen, we even have our ambulances with that. We have oxygen cylinders elsewhere. So it's definitely an essential commodity. We have no regrets. We are happy to have bought the machine.
Will the private hospitals in the state be able to meet the state government's October deadline is yet to be seen. As far as the Private Hospitals Association is concerned, they are planning to write to the central government to request the state to rescind the circular as they are not in a position to meet the state's mandate. This is Suraksha reporting for Deccan Herald.